Here's the 4 reasons why you can't get over your breakup. So, if you've been in a relationship and you're really struggling and you feel like your recovery is taking way longer, dragging out way longer than you thought it would, and you can't really figure out, like, why is this hurting so much? Like, why is this taking me so long to get over this person? I have a couple of ideas. There's usually some deeper things going on than just your relationship with this woman. And honestly, a lot of the time, the reason why you can't get over this woman has actually nothing to do with the woman. It's all internal. So in this video, we're going to talk a little bit about those. The first one is you're going to have a hard time getting over this breakup if it was your first relationship. So a lot of times when guys go through this, you're a little young. So you might be in your teenage years or early 20s and anymore. Sometimes guys are waiting longer and longer to get into relationships. And so you might be in your mid 20s or even earlier. The first time that you ever have a girlfriend, the first time that you ever experience, sexual intimacy, closeness, cuddling, just spending a lot of time together. This woman is interested in you. She's texting you all the time. Maybe, she's met your friends. You've met her friends. You've met each other's families. And it feels really good. When you're with somebody that you click with, that you like, having those experiences, having a woman choose you back is a pretty momentous occasion for most guys, right? Because there's so many. You may have to approach, talk to, date dozens or hundreds of women before you find one that likes you back and the feeling is mutual and you're dating. So for most guys, when you find a woman that you like, it's a big deal. And then when you lose that woman, it's going to hurt a lot, especially if it's your first time. One of the things that I remember about losing my first serious girlfriend was I was in so much pain and I was so confused because I thought, well, why did you say all those things? You said you loved me. You said I was amazing. You said you wanted us to be together forever. You said all these things, and then it ended up that it just went away at the drop of a hat when she decided that she just wanted to be with somebody else. The first time that you experience that, it is kind of a kick in the nuts. It's a feeling in the pit of your gut that you're just like, is anything real? What do I believe in anymore? Like, time and space doesn't even make sense anymore. And the first time that you experience that is pretty hard. So if you're having a really hard time getting over your breakup, if this is your very first serious relationship that has ended, of course, I get it for sure. The second thing there is if this is your first relationship with someone that you really liked. So maybe you had a girlfriend before and she was cool, pretty nice. And then maybe you just by luck or something happens and you get with a woman that you think is exceptionally pretty and she's exceptionally cool and you really love her personality. When that relationship ends, you're going to really take that hard. This is kind of the opposite. So the first one is going to be more directed toward younger guys in their teens or early 20s, and this is your first time having a girlfriend. When it's your first time being in a relationship with someone that you really, really like, that you really feel good about, that you're really excited about, that hurts not as bad. The first one is the worst, but that hurts really badly as well because if you're a little bit more experienced, you know what it's like to date people that you're not that interested in, or you're just like, okay, yeah, she's cool, she's whatever. Your level of interest is mid. When you have a level of interest that's super high and you get to experience what it's like to be with a woman that you're very attracted to, and she's seemingly very attracted to you, and you're sharing this time together, and she's telling you how great you are. When that ends, that really sucks. So the second reason why you might have a really hard time getting over a breakup, if it's your first time being with a woman that you really liked, or it's been a long time. So Coach Corey Wayne says that people tend to meet only 1 to 3 women in a decade, 1 to 3 women every 10 years that you really click with, that you really hit it off with, and where you really feel a very special connection. So when you lose that, hey, it might be 10 years. It might be 5 or 7 or 10 years before I meet someone that I have this level of connection with, and that really hurts as well. So the third reason that you're going to have a really hard time getting over your breakup is if you have nothing else in your life that excites you. If you don't have anything else in your life that you're passionate about, that you're working toward, that you can direct your energy toward, it's just the woman. When y'all break up, that's going to be really fucked up. Let's say that you have a job and it's just pays the bills. You're not really excited about your career. You're not making a ton of money. You're not really ambitious to move up to the next levels, management, executive level, whatever. And you're just kind of going there, punching the clock, coming home. Maybe you have a couple friends that you see here and there, but not really any close friendships. Maybe you don't even have any real hobbies that you're working toward or any real goals that you're passionate about. You're really just fixated on when is the next time that you hang out with this woman. In that case, you will really have a hard time when she breaks up with you because it's like she pulls a Jenga piece out and the whole thing collapses. If your whole life was built around the next time you hang out with this woman because you're not passionate about your career, because you're not pursuing any goals, because you don't have any hobbies or interests that you're working on, because you don't have any close relationships with other friends, when a woman leaves you in that situation, you're going to be in a pretty bad spot. So the antidote to this is pretty obvious. You need to make sure that you have things that you're focused on outside of your romantic relationship. Here's the thing. If you have a lot of balls in the air, when one of them falls away, it's not as big of a deal. So if you are juggling a demanding career that you're excited about, you're excited to move forward in your career, or you're working on a business or a YouTube channel, something like that. And then also you have friends. You have like a group of friends who are texting you, hey, let's go, ride motorcycles. Let's go hang out at the bar. Let's go play pool. Let's go swimming. Let's go for a hike. Let's go on a camping trip. You've got them. And then you also have, hobbies that you're working on. You're training for a marathon, an ultra marathon, a trail race, or you climb. You're planning a climbing trip to, somewhere cool, New Mexico or somewhere, in Oregon or something. And you have all these things in the air. And you also have a girlfriend that you like a lot. If the girlfriend falls away, yeah, you're going to be sad. Of course, you're going to miss that connection with that person, but you have so much else going on in your life that it hurts a lot less. So the antidote to number 3 is just to make sure that you always have a lot of irons in the fire. You always have a lot of irons in the fire, and that you're always living a full life. Besides the fact this is going to insulate you from being affected by a breakup, because you can't control what women do, right? People say this, and it sounds bitter. I don't like to repeat it, but she's not yours. It's just your turn. You just have a turn. And you have some control over that by how you behave and how you act and how you carry yourself. But in the end of the day, it is just a turn. It could be 6 months. It could be 2 years. It could be 5 years. It could be 7 years. At some point, that woman will most likely move on and be with somebody else. And she might come back. She might not. But the way that you mitigate, in my opinion, the fickleness of women is that you make sure that you never really have all of your eggs in one basket, that you have too much of your emotional energy just focused on the woman, when it's just such a thing that's so wishy-washy, so mercurial, and so hard to control. Make sure that if you're not in a job that you care about, find a job that you care about. Find a company that you want to ascend in, or work on your own business on the side. Same thing with your body. Get really into fitness. It's not about having six-pack abs. It's just about having things that take your focus off of the woman. And women tend to find that attractive. A woman would more likely pursue a guy that has other things going on. He's got friends, he's got hobbies, he's got his career, and she has to kind of ask for his time and ask to see him and try to get in where she fits in, more so than the opposite way around. It really doesn't work when it's the man trying to figure out when he can see that woman, as much as the other way around when it's the woman having to pursue a man that's on his purpose. It doesn't feel right. Coach Corey Wayne says it doesn't feel right to women when you pursue them. And in my experience, I found that to be totally true. The fourth reason why it's going to be really hard, or why it's taking you so long to get over your breakup, is if you have abandonment issues or attachment issues. So I'm not a therapist. I'm not a mental health professional. I can only talk about things that I've experienced in my life as somebody. I identify as a person that has abandonment issues and attachment issues just from the way that I grew up, things that I experienced as a child with my parents. So if you're a person who's had a complicated or a stressful childhood, you might have issues with attaching to people, with feeling abandoned. And then all of that, like I said, it doesn't have really anything to do with the woman. It's just the way that you internally process feelings of rejection or feelings of abandonment or feelings of creating attachments, like getting into a relationship, maintaining a relationship, and letting go of those attachments when the relationship is over. Some good books to read on this is the book Attached by Amir. Let's see, what's his name? Rachel Levine and Amir, and I'm forgetting his name. I'll put it in the comments below. And there's another book called The Power of Attachment. And I'll leave links to both of these books in the comment box below, because both of these have been very helpful to me as I heal from issues with attachment and abandonment. Another good book about abandonment I'll leave down below as well. It's called The Journey from Abandonment to Healing, and it's by Susan Anderson. So these 3 books, if you read these books, kind of understand the information, it will help you understand how to build a healthy attachment style, how to heal some of the emotional wounds you might have, and how to just move forward and show up better in relationships. The interesting thing about relationships is they will expose you to yourself. There is nothing like being in a romantic relationship, an intimate relationship with somebody who gets to know you very well, and they can point out your insecurities, your flaws, even your shortcomings. And women will do this. Women will tell you, hey, I don't like when you do this. Or they'll just look at you a certain way. Like, being in a relationship with a woman, besides the fact that it's very beautiful and fulfilling in a lot of different ways, is that it's a great way to to understand yourself and to meet yourself. Because many times a woman will she won't accept anything but your best. This is another thing that Coach Corey Wayne says. A woman is not going to be really happy with you unless you are pursuing some goal, being ambitious, working on something. She really wants to see you constantly moving and working and pushing. And if you're not doing that, you're going to experience a breakup, or the woman not really treating you well. You're going to see a dip in her attraction level. So these are the 4 reasons why you're having such a hard time getting over your breakup. So hopefully this helps. Hit the like button, comment down below what you guys want to see next. And listen, the whole purpose of this channel is to help guys see that this breakup could be the best thing that ever happened to you. Use the time, the energy, the money that you have at your disposal right now, since you're no longer in a relationship. Use that time, energy, focus, money to better yourself, to transform your life, to pursue your big goals. And always remember, like I always say, it hurts a lot right now. One day it won't hurt at all. I'll see you on the next one. Peace.